Hello and welcome to The Wealth Connoisseur. This is Daniel Lentz. What I want to speak today with you about is women and how to pass their tests. Now, a key in our lives is the relationship we have with women. So I thought I'd put together this video to help men pass what are called shit tests from women. Now, firstly, I want to explain why women do shit tests. It can seem cruel, especially when we're failing the tests. It can seem like they're being nasty to us. And there's this promised land where we see men not getting these tests or passing these tests. And often it's simple things that we're getting wrong. So I just want to help guys out there, and I specifically want to help a friend. So this is really for him. So I hope this helps you. If we look at our attraction as men, when we see a beautiful woman, we do not have to think long about it. We're very interested. And that's why a lot of beautiful women have a lot of options. Our main lens is how attractive she is. And this is overly biological. If we look at a beautiful woman, shows us that she can give us good genetics, and there's many biological reasons. And also it's rare. There's not that many beautiful women, or often it's perceived that way. Actually, there is often a lot of beautiful women, but it's perceived that it's a rarity. And that's also because women have one egg or two eggs a month, whereas we have many sperm, and men are looked at as a lot more disposable because of this, and how we act is a lot more like this. So if you can become that attractive man though, you can become really valuable. A good question I love to ask about this is, how many men do you know have their shit together, have their finances together, have their health together, have their emotions together, have their lives together? And then think, how many beautiful women do you know? And one thing I can tell you is I know very few men who have their game completely together. However, I know many beautiful women. And so women want high quality men. If we look at some scary statistics, it's that 20% of the men have access to 80% of the women. It's pretty scary for a lot of men. However, that is a moving 20%. You can move into that 20%. I'm proof of this. Many people I know are proof of this. It's not a static thing. It's like wealth, it can move. So often it's knowing how to act and changing for the better. Finding out what's not working and starting to do more of what works and less of what does not work. It's like a game of chess. And that's why this is important. If you're the king, having your queen is a vital part of the game of life. And with this MGTOW movement, I watched this fantastic video from Blackpill today, and he was talking about how the cat lady is perceived as this woman who's ended up on her own. Well, gentlemen, we can end up like that as well. And he showed this scary video, I'll attach this, where he's bought a house for a man who ended up like the male version of the cat lady, where he did not have success with women. He ended up becoming a hoarder, and he basically failed in the game of life with women. And I do not want that to happen for you. It's funny because I notice a lot of friends asking advice from my single friends, my player friends, which is fantastic, and they have some good advice. However, for example, myself, I've been married to my wife Ioana for 6 years, and I often notice that my friends who are single never ask advice from me. However, it's not easy to stay married and to keep attraction for 6 years, for God's sake. And just because you're married gives you no guarantees. So we as men need to have game to keep our woman, or women, if guys go down that road. And you could argue that's a whole nother level again. There's guys like Arash Sapar, Deepazar, guys, a boss. My good friend who mentored me with a lot of this and with business, his name is Summit. He speaks a lot about how women will test us right into the day we will die. He jokes about how we could be in the hospital bed and our woman's going to test us still. We just don't get a day off, you guys. And when we look at it from a positive view, they are testing us because they want to know we are the men we put out to the world that we are. They want to know we are the real deal. Like gold, you would not just buy it on someone's word. You would want to test that it's solid gold before you paid the money. Now, if a woman invests with you, she can end up having a child, which can be a lifelong commitment. You can run off. She's at least stuck with that child for 9 months. Or it's a heavy thing to have an abortion as well. So there's high stakes for a woman. And so she needs a lens that is clear and will accurately show her high status men. And one of the keys she uses is the shit test. And so often guys quickly fail this, and it quickly will weed out the scrubs. It'll quickly weed out the men she does not want to breed with. And it's fair enough. So if I think back to when I first started to go out, and I remember 2 girls asking if I'd buy them drinks, and it just threw me off. And so I failed this test. I didn't end up buying them drinks. I was like, and they moved on. And basically they quickly figured I was a bit of a loser and moved on. The next time I knew what to say. We had this beautiful woman walk up to us while we were playing pool. And she had 5 guys there. One of them was her boyfriend-ish, which is a bit random. And she came up to me and said, "Hey, can you buy me a drink?" And I said, "Hey, you seem lovely. However, I don't know you at all. Why don't you buy me and my friend here a drink? And if we enjoy your company, we'll buy you the next round," and so on. And to my surprise, she went away and came back with drinks for us. And this was one of the keys where I started to realize, wow, passing the test puts you into another world. It's like there's a room and there's a door where most men do not enter through. And when you pass the test, you enter into this room. And so another test is where women say nasty things. So, for example, I was out with my friend and 2 girls said to us, "Are you gay?" And they specifically were looking at me. And in the past, I used to react. I was like, "No, I'm not. Oh, what? I've got a girlfriend," because I think I had a girlfriend at the time. However, I said, "Yeah, I'm gay as the day is long. In fact, we just come back from a gayathon where I won it. I am so gay, ladies, that I'd suck the color out of a marble." And then they started laughing. I said, No. I would suck a marble up a garden hose. And they started laughing, and I ended up sitting next to them, and my friend ended up hooking up with one of them, and the guys they were with ended up taking off, and it went really, really well. And they were getting really annoyed about it. Anyway, it was a straight pass. And the principle I used was you agree and you amplify. You agree and you amplify. So say your woman says to you, or the woman says to you, "Are you a scrub?" I say, "Are you a little scrub, are you?" You say, "Why, yes, I am. I am the biggest scrub in the city. In fact, I won an award recently for being a scrub." And say she says to you, "Are you a loser?" You say, "I'm amazed you spotted it, because yes, I am a loser. I am the biggest and best loser in town." And so you take the test, you agree, which dissipates the energy, and you amplify, which makes it funny. This is just a gold technique. So my good friend, who I'm doing this video for, he recently had his girlfriend say to him, "Hey, I'm doing my hair so that I can go out and see some guys," or something like that. And I'm pretty sure he reacted negatively. So say that happens to me, my wife says, "Oh, I'm doing up my hair so I can go off and see some other guys." Even my wife says this to me, let's just say. Hopefully she wouldn't, and she hasn't said that yet, I don't think, but let's say she does. Then again, it's agree and amplify. So it's okay, sweetheart, I'm glad your hair looks so beautiful for these guys. I'm sure you'll charm all of them. Something like that. And what people don't realize is this doesn't stop when you're married. For example, my wife, who I'm with for 6 years, I was spending time with a friend who was a virgin, hopefully he's not now, and she was saying the day before how she wasn't in love with me anymore. I was laughing about it over lunch, and I was saying to him, you're a virgin. I'm like, it never gets easy. Even my wife here was saying she doesn't love me, and she goes, that's right, I was. And I'm like, yeah, of course she wasn't loving me. Fair enough. I said, sometimes I don't love myself, of course. I hate myself sometimes. And we were laughing, and then I was in the bathroom washing my hands, and he was there. He came out and washed his hands, and he was shaking, this poor guy. And he said, I can get to your level and be married, and still my woman will say she doesn't love me or say things like that. And I said, mate, you could be on your deathbed and she will say things like that. And it's such a good lens to have for us, and a pillar to understand why women do this. It's not a bad thing. It's a very, very good thing. And it's to make us better as people. It's to make us more charismatic. It's to make us stronger. Women will reward strength and punish weakness in us. And this is where conspicuous consumption has its place as well. This is why flash cars, flash homes, flash clothes has some effect, because with the right items, they're hard to fake. And say, for example, if you're a CEO of a company, it's hard to fake that you're a CEO of a company. Women want things that are hard to fake and quick to spot. So like a gold chain, things like that. I forget who the scientist was, but he was struggling to understand humans until he looked through the lens of mating. I laugh about my friends having V8s. I've had a V8 or V10s. Why would a man need 500 horsepower for a car? Back in the day, you could ride one horse into town. Now men need 500. How ridiculous. And it's all obviously about saying, hey, I can manage this. I can afford this. It's like back in the day with a stallion. If a man rode into town on a black stallion, he was saying, not only can I afford to feed this thing, buy this thing, I've also got the courage to ride something as crazy as a stallion. If you've seen a stallion, there is nothing tame about it. It's like looking at a weapon about to go off. And so, again, women want proof. And one last technique I want to share with you is from Peaky Blinders. Now, if we look at the boss in the movie, he is a great example of a strong man. And often when he's tested with his life, which is every second minute, he will divert the conversation. If you look out for this, he will divert the conversation. There's one scene where he's been threatened with his life and he says, hey, what's your dog's name? And he's always off on his own tangent. And that is another key way to overcome tests. The ideal I want to quickly share with you, if we imagine, say, Brad Pitt or Leonardo DiCaprio, and some woman says to them, hey, are you gay? Or are you a scrub? They would not even answer her. That would be the level 10. The next level would be looking at her and smiling and just holding the gaze. That would be pretty close, if not another level 10. The other way would be to laugh. Be like, ha ha ha. Yes, I'm a scrub, love. Yes, I am a scrub. And so here are some different ways. What I'm really saying here is to not react, especially not react negatively. What's fantastic about the agree and amplify is you're reacting, however, you're reacting positively. You're controlling the frame. However, never act negatively. Never go into that negative frame. Don't let it suck you into that, because it just drags you to the gutter. And so I hope you found this insightful. It helps you overcome the tests that women throw at us, and to prevail and succeed with the beautiful opposite sex, and to have your queen on the board in love and infatuated with you, my friend. Bless you all, boys. Talk soon.